I'm really happy that you still made it for tonight for this interview after your long trip just coming over from San Francisco. You're in town in Berlin again,
Yes.
as you told me, because you've been here several times due to the Berlinale where your films have been shown several times. But this trip has a different reason. You're here because you're receiving an award for your lifetime work as an artist. We will talk about that a little bit later. If you like, perhaps you could give us a little bit of an introduction. When did you really start to work as an artist? That's probably long ago, I know. And to give a little bit of an idea which you perceive as major pieces of your work in the last 30, 40, 50 years, what you have done.
Well, I could never do anything else. You know, I tried to be normal, you know, or to have, I had no choice. Even from the time I was 2 years old, 3 years old, that's all I could do is to make things. And so I considered that that's kind of my life's work is doing that. But I think more seriously, maybe in the late 60s is when I did what I consider the first original works, which were works that use sound and identity-based works, and moving into the 70s with works that dealt with environments and site-specific works, in a sense creating a flow chart of how one moved through a space in varying ways. Which led again into more identity works, which is in the entire 70s. I worked for 10 years, made a project on the creation of an identity and the difference between fictional identity and real identity, and that's very soft edge between where one trespasses, both in a physical space as well as in a virtual space. Should I go on?
Sure, please.
Then I also, leading from, it seems like one project leads to another one. So at the end of working with hotel rooms, varying hotel rooms in this identity piece, I made what is considered the first interactive digital based computer-based laserdisc work, which was called Laureate, which was, again, you would travel through an architecture, not a physical one, but a flow chart, and relive for a person choices she would make in her day. And this woman was afraid of leaving her house, so you would have to create through a remote switch, because nothing else exists, just a remote control. You would remotely be able to shift or to identify or to make choices for how she would lead her life, with multiple endings and so forth, multiple soundtracks. And then that just continued to lead into other works, you know, dealing with touch screens and touching, in one sense, a woman's body, and having the architecture flow out from that, of choosing paths. And then using your eyes, where you look through something, and where you look determined what would open up as kind of the narrative of the project, to using your finger with a gun, where you, as an observer or voyeur, would be put inside the frame that you were dealing with, and continuing on.
So you have always used a lot of new media, always very, very contemporary kind of media, which were coming up at the time. What was your interest in that? Did you feel that it was just the right thing to express what you wanted to express? Or was it as well something brought you to another idea, you could develop different ideas when you started to understand this medium?